Juneteenth is the celebration of the end of slavery and the celebration of freedom of black people in America. Although the holiday is as old as the end of slavery, it is not a well-known holiday, especially outside of black communities. You might have heard of Juneteenth, but did you know these 5 facts? Welcome to The 5, where we share 5 things in black culture and society in every episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when we release new videos. The 2-year delay. President Lincoln is famous for the Emancipation Proclamation, a presidential proclamation and executive order that was issued on September 22, 1862 that freed more than 3.5 million enslaved blacks in America. But since America was in the middle of a civil war over slavery, it meant slaves that were under the control of the Confederacy remained slaves until either Union troops took over the area or they ran away across Union lines. Once hearing the news of this proclamation, many slaves ran away and crossed over to the Union side. However, the decision came at a deadly cost to those that could not safely cross over. On April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered his Confederate troops, marking the beginning of the end of the 4-year-long Civil War. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger landed in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war had ended and all slaves were to be free. This was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth, the state holiday. Juneteenth is not a federal holiday yet, but did you know it's a state holiday in 47 states and in the District of Columbia? Texas was the first state to recognize the holiday in 1980. The 3 states that did not recognize the holiday are North Dakota, South Dakota, and Hawaii. Opal Lee, a 93-year-old activist and Texan, has been campaigning to make Juneteenth a national holiday. In 2016, at the age of 89, she decided to walk from her home in Fort Worth to Washington, D.C. in an effort to get Juneteenth named a national holiday. She traveled 2.5 miles each day to symbolize the 2.5-year gap between the Emancipation Proclamation and the freeing of all slaves. The Juneteenth flag. The Juneteenth flag is red, white, and blue, though it is constructed differently than the red, white, and blue you're used to seeing. The flag has 1 bursting star and is the brainchild of activist Ben Hath, founder of the National Juneteenth Celebration Foundation. Hath created the flag in 1997 with the help of collaborators, and Boston-based illustrator Lisa Graff brought their vision to life. In 2000, the flag was revised to the version we see today. 7 years later, the date June 19, 1865 was added to the flag. The Lone Star represents both Texas, where the last of the slaves were freed, and the freeing of slaves in all 50 states. The curve that extends across the width of the flag represents a new horizon, and the red, white, and blue represents the American flag, a reminder that slaves and their descendants were and are Americans. Juneteenth and black culture. During celebrations of Juneteenth, a range of activities were provided for entertainment. Many of these traditions still continue today in black culture. For example, barbecuing or cookouts became popular in black culture during the era when Juneteenth was celebrated widely in black societies. The dress code was also taken very seriously in early celebration of Juneteenth. During slavery, there were laws on the books in many areas that prohibited or limited the dressing of the enslaved. Therefore, on Juneteenth, black society showed up to celebrations dressed in their best outfits. Juneteenth celebrations were illegal in some places. In some cities, black people were barred from using public parks to celebrate Juneteenth because of the state-sponsored segregation of facilities. In response, freed slaves in parts of Texas put their funds together to purchase land to hold their celebrations. In 1872, black leaders in Texas raised $1,000 to purchase 10 acres of land to celebrate Juneteenth. Today, the park is known as Emancipation Park in Houston. Side note, in 1898, an estimated 30,000 black people celebrated the holiday at Booker T. Washington Park in Limestone County, Texas, a park established for Juneteenth celebration. That's it for this episode of The 5. We'll be back with another episode on Black culture and history.